Welcome to Keystone University. This presentation is called Stargate Maths, the language of the universe. Stargate Maths is a tool to push the human race forward. It takes extraordinarily complicated mathematics and makes it simple. Some quick notes on Stargate Maths. It uses single-digit root numbers, which is called the base 10 number system, 0 through to 9. All larger numbers are reduced to their digital root in order to simplify them. And the digital root is the sum of all digits in a number. So for example, the digital root of 12 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. Or the digital root of 360 is 9. 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. By using the digital root, we can find nature's hidden patterns. And this system is like a Rosetta Stone. It translates numbers and reveals nature's hidden order. It turns complicated numbers into simple patterns and reveals the hidden mathematical patterns that govern the universe. According to Galileo, the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. It's the universal language. There is a great debate: did humans discover mathematics or did we invent it? The answer is both. Nature loves to double. 1 cell becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. You started life as a single cell, which doubled and doubled again and kept on doubling to become trillions and trillions of cells. Let's start with the number 1. 1 doubled is 2, 2 doubled is 4, 4 doubles 8, goes to 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. So this is the doubling pattern. But when we reduce them to their root numbers, we find this interesting pattern. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. Which goes all the way to infinity. So this 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern repeats all the way to infinity. And here we've mapped it onto a wheel. And this pattern spins to infinity. Now a couple of quick observations. The opposite numbers always add to 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. If you add these three numbers, you get the opposing one. So 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7. 7. 5 plus 1 plus 2 is 8. 8. So whatever these three are, will reduce down to this one. Whatever these three are, reduce down to this one. Whatever these three are, reduce to this one. And this pattern spins to infinity. And as we've just learned, all opposing numbers add up to 9. 1 plus 8 is 9, 2 plus 7 is 9, 4 plus 5 is 9, etc. If you add up all the individual numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5, we get 27, and of course 2 plus 7 equals 9. Now to make this all user-friendly, we place it on a Stargate wheel, which is a wheel of 12 numbers spinning round a 0. And we'll discuss why it's spinning round a 0 later. As you again notice, everything adds to 9. 9 plus 9 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. 6 plus 3 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9. There are two different patterns within this, the gold pattern and the white pattern. The white pattern is 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and the gold pattern is the 3, 6, and 9 numbers. This also perfectly matches on to the musical and the colour schemes. Nature does not distinguish between sound, colour, and number. Neither should we. They all overlap. And the point of Stargate Maths is to provide a Rosetta Stone to tie all three together. Our doubling sequence, it spins all the way to infinity. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And that forms a hexagon. And the hexagon is one of the most fundamental shapes in all of nature. Throughout nature, we find this pattern. When we halve numbers, we just get 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 in reverse. So here we started at 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, all the way down to these difficult to handle numbers. However, when we reduce them to their digital root, we find the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern in reverse. So it spins downwards all the way, if you like, to the quantum level. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 upwards, and it goes into reverse downwards. We find hexagons throughout nature. One of the most beautiful of all is the snowflake. Here we have taken the Stargate wheel and mapped it onto a snowflake design. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And we get this pattern of 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, all the way around the hexagon. And of course, 3 plus 6 equals 9, 3 plus 6 equals 9, 3 plus 6 equals 9, etc. So this is just another way of demonstrating the same pattern, as is this. Within the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, there's a 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6 pattern. So obviously 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 plus 2 is 6, etc., etc. And then when you take 3 plus 6, you get all the 9s. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern repeats to infinity. And the 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6 pattern also repeats to infinity. And both patterns are entangled. They're independent, but they're interwoven, they're entangled. 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6 is a binary code, and we're going to speak about that later. And both codes are called palindromes. In other words, they loop forwards or backwards in the same repeating pattern to infinity. One of the most famous quotes from Nikola Tesla is that if you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, you'd have a key to the universe. In Stargate mathematics, 3, 6, and 9 occupy this space throughout the wheel and is coloured in gold, whereas the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 numbers are coloured in white to distinguish them. Now we find that there are number pairs that all add to 9. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 2 plus 7, 9. 3 plus 6, 9. 4 plus 5, 9. 9 plus 9 also equals 9. So 9 plus 9 is 18 and 1 plus 8 is 9. And also 0 plus 9 equals 9. Now 0 is an extraordinarily important number that is often overlooked in mathematics. We will be exploring the number 0 today. 0 is the equal opposite of infinity. Everything has its opposite. 0 is the opposite of infinity. Now, probably the most famous number sequence of all is the Fibonacci numbers. The Fibonacci numbers form this beautiful spiral that we find all throughout nature. The Fibonacci numbers is found by adding the current number to the previous one. So it starts with 0 and 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 8 is 21, etc. These famous numbers are found all throughout nature. Let's examine the Fibonacci root numbers. So here we have all the Fibonacci numbers, and what I've done is coloured in gold our golden numbers, which is 3, 6, 9, and 0. In our second row, we have all of the digital roots. And we find this pattern. And to simplify it, I will put our golden numbers in gold. And what we find is we have a golden number, 3 numbers, golden number, 3 numbers, golden 3. This goes all the way to infinity. And what's more, when we add these 3 numbers, we find our 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern. So we'll start up here. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern is found throughout the Fibonacci numbers. And the 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9 pattern is also found throughout the Fibonacci numbers. And when we map it onto a number wheel, this is what we find. All opposite numbers add up to 9. We also find that the 3, 6, and 9 numbers, the golden numbers, are also found in the same location as on the Stargate wheel. And we find that this pattern spirals to infinity. It's called a wheel of 24, which circles around the inner 0. We also find within the Fibonacci wheel that there are 2 internal 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 patterns. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. Or if we start at the other one, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So both of these hexagons are equal opposites. One spins right, one spins left. We also find the 3, 6s and 9s are in the same position as the Stargate wheel. We also find is that in each of these white sections, the middle one is a pattern of 9s. 8 and 1 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9. And the 2 outer ones are 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 patterns. So let's examine the golden patterns. So we've got 8 and 1 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, all the way around. And then, of course, we've got 9, 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9, 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9. So within this Fibonacci wheel, we actually have 4 patterns. We have 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 twice. We have 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9 once. And 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8 once. And all 4 patterns spiral to infinity. This is what it looks like when we put all 4 together. And as we can see, gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, silver, all the way around. We use this color scheme to simplify the patterns. You will notice throughout this presentation that the golden numbers will always be found in those positions. So if we add up this white section, 5 plus 1 plus 4, which gives us 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So again, we find 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So each of these white sections, when you total them, add up to 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And that pattern spins to infinity. If we take the numbers either side of the golden numbers, again we find 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern is a master pattern that the Fibonacci numbers is made out of. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 is more fundamental. Here we have overlapped the Stargate wheel on the outside with the Fibonacci wheel on the inside, and you can see that they fit perfectly. So 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 10, which goes back to 1, and you can do the same all the way around, and you will find the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern. By the way, repetition is the mother of learning. And as I'm weaving many different fields of knowledge together, throughout this presentation, there will be some repetition. If that offends you, get over it. There are other patterns found within the Fibonacci wheel. So here we have a pair of 1s. Now we have 8 plus 1, which equals 9. Pair of 2s, 6 plus 3, which equals 9. Pair of 5s, 8 plus 1 equals 9. Pair of 4s, 6 plus 3 is 9. Pair of 7s, 8 plus 1 is 9. Pair of 8s. So this pattern of pair 9s runs throughout the entire wheel. It also occurs vertically. So here we have 9 pair, 9 pair, 9 pair again. So that's an interesting pattern. Now, there is also a Fibonacci wheel of 60. And we find this wheel by taking the Fibonacci numbers and taking the last digit in each number. Okay, so the last digit is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13 is 3, 21, 1, 34, 4, 55, 5, etc. And we've taken these up to 4.8 billion. Now, when we map this around the wheel, we get a repeating pattern of 60. And what we find is, in the cardinal points, we get 0. The 4 cardinal points. And we also, at the 30-degree angles, get the number 5. So if you like the 5-minute mark on a clock. So here we have 5, 5, 0, 5, 5, 0. So here we have a string of 60 repeating end digits. And with the exception of the zeros, every opposite pair adds to 10. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10, which obviously reduces down to 1. And all the way around the wheel we find this pattern. We also find the same mirror symmetry of pairs followed by 10s this time. So pair of 1s, 1 plus 9 is 10. Pair of 2s, 7 plus 3 is 10. This pattern of pairs and 10s goes all the way down the wheel. So the Fibonacci wheel of 24 is based on 9, and the Fibonacci wheel of 60 is based on the number 10. The mirror symmetry is also found vertically. Pair of 3s, 3 plus 7, 10. Pair of 6s, 9 plus 1 is 10. So these wheels are beautifully symmetrical. And you'll notice how the wheel of 60 and the wheel of 24 have very similar patterns going on. There's also a Fibonacci style wheel within this wheel. So if we start with 1 and go to 8, which is 30 degrees later, so 1 plus 8 is 9. 9, and if we add 9 to the previous, 9 plus 8 is 17, so the last digit is 7. 7 plus 9 gives us 16, so the last digit will be 6. And this pattern goes all the way around this Fibonacci wheel of 60. So this pattern works for every single number on this Fibonacci wheel. Now, within this Fibonacci wheel, we also find another pattern, a 5-pointed star, a pentagon. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. So this 2, 4, 6, 8, 0 applies to any star with the digits 2, 4, 6, 8, 0 in them. And there's also a second pentacle with the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now what's also interesting about this star is it forms a pentagon on the outside. So as we spin around the wheel, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay? Whereas with the previous one, this one doesn't form it naturally. This one is a pentacle. So that's just an interesting observation there. Anytime we use the digits 2, 4, 6, 8 and 0, we find a pentacle with those numbers within it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. If, however, we use any of the other numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, the pentacle contains those digits. So there's two separate systems going on. And the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 pattern naturally forms a pentagon on the outside. This is all the possible pentacles within the Wheel of 60. It makes quite a beautiful piece of artwork. There are 12 in total. We also find a 5-5-0 triangle. So I've taken the red fire triangle here, 0-5-5, or the blue water, 5-5-0. But there are patterns throughout this. What I'm showing you is really a tip of the iceberg. Now, returning to the Fibonacci Wheel of 24, as we learned earlier, we start with 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 ultimately forms this pattern. However, different wheels of 24 are found when we use different starting digits. And this is all the possible combinations. We have found 6 different wheels. We have the Fibonacci wheel, we have a Lucas wheel, a GHANNAM wheel, a Tesla wheel, a wheel of 9s, and a wheel of 0s. So if we take every possible combination of 2 digits, this is the pattern we find. There is a 0 wheel, which only occurs once, which is simply a wheel of 0s. There are 3 wheels of 9. There are 12 Tesla wheels. We call them Tesla wheels because the numbers in them are 3, 6, and 9. We have a GHANNAM wheel and a Lucas wheel named after the people who first discovered those number sequences, and of course the famous Fibonacci sequence. And this is what our wheels look like. So here we have the wheel of 0s, only occurs once. We have a wheel of 9s, it's all 9s. We have a Tesla wheel, which is 33696639, 33696639. We have, of course, the famous Fibonacci wheel. We have a Lucas wheel and a GHANNAM wheel. Now, we are going to explore all of these wheels, but straight away something very obvious occurs. The 3, 6, and 9 golden numbers are in the same places in all 3 wheels. Of course, we've got 3, 2, 1 forming a nice little pyramid. So let's start examining these 3. And here we get a closer look. Again, each and every one of their opposing digits add up to 9. So I have used this golden arrow to point out the symmetry throughout all 3 wheels, and I have also used these golden keystone blocks to point out where the 3, 6s and 9 occurs throughout this pattern. As you can see from looking at them, the 3 of them are very, very similar. So let's explore them in detail. Interestingly, the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern occurs in all 3, but at different starting points. So with Fibonacci, 1 is here, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. With Lucas, 1 starts here. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And with GHANNAM, 1 starts here. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. You'll notice that the 3s, 6s, and 9s are in the same location. This is why we color code these keystone blocks, so that you can see that there are two independent patterns going on, if you like, the white pattern and the gold pattern. Now let's examine what happens when we overlap all three wheels. Now remember, we have two separate patterns going on. We've got our white pattern, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and our gold pattern. So we can align these in two different ways. If we align them with 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, this is what it looks like. And I've simplified it down here to show you 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So these are all aligned, but you'll notice that the 3s, 6s, and 9s have moved. So in order to align the white section, the gold ones spin around. Or if we do it the opposite way, if we align the 3s, 6s, and 9s, so all our 9s, all our 3s, all our 6s, this is the alignment we get. And again, if I total all the white blocks, this is what I get. There are a couple of symmetries here, so let me just point out a few. In each corner, we've either got 9s or 0s. So we have the 0, 0 wheel here, which occurs once, and the other corners is 9s. We have 12 Tesla wheels evenly spread throughout it. And within this grid, there is some beautiful symmetries. So if we start with the Fibonacci, we see that we have this Tetris T shape here, and its equal opposite is down here. We have this backwards T shape here, and its equal opposite is up here. Here we have the 3s and 6s nice and evenly throughout, and on this side, if you explore this, you will find a lot of symmetry throughout. Let's just examine the first row. We're not going to take the time to examine all 100, so we're just going to examine the first row. And here are our 6 wheels. Now we've chosen the first row because it's the only row where all 6 wheels of 24 occur, and it's the natural place to start. And what we discover is if we start a Fibonacci sequence with 0 and 1 or 0 and 8, we get the Fibonacci wheel. That's why it's in white here. If we start with 0, 2 or 0, 7, we get the Lucas wheel. If we start with 0, 4, 0, 5, we get the GHANNAM wheel. If we start with 0, 3 or 0, 6, we get the Tesla wheel. If we start with 0 and 9, we get the 9s wheel. And if we start with 0 and 0, we get a wheel of zeros. Now, just so it's clear, anytime you use these number combinations in white, you get a Fibonacci wheel. Light grey, you get a Lucas wheel. Dark grey, you get a GHANNAM wheel. Gold with black writing, you get a Tesla wheel. Gold with white writing, a wheel of 9s, and black with white writing, a wheel of zeros. So we will start by examining the Fibonacci wheel of 24 and the wheel of 60. And what we discover is that we get the same wheel of 24 with 0, 1 and 0, 8, but we get different wheels of 60 if we start our Fibonacci with 0, 1 or if we start it with 0, 8. So let me break this down for you. On the left, we have the Fibonacci numbers starting with 0 and 1. On the right, with 0 and 8. The middle row is the Fibonacci digital root numbers, which form the wheel of 24. And the outer row is the wheel of 60. And you'll notice in the outer row, only the 0 is in gold, and I've put the 5s in silver. Because the wheel of 60 is based on 0 and 5s, and while the wheels of 24 and the Stargate wheel of 12 are based on the numbers 3, 6, 9 and 0. So let's start with the Fibonacci numbers. So if we take the digital root, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4. So we'll notice that this digital root matches this one, but it starts at different sections. So the Fibonacci wheel of 24 starts here, 0, 1, 1, 2. Whereas the Fibonacci wheel calculated with 0 and 8 starts here, 0, 8. So basically, it splits. One goes to 1, the other goes to 8. And they spiral around in equal opposite spirals. So the exact same wheel of 24 is found whether we start with 0 and 1, or 0 and 8, or any of these digits in white. But there are two separate number wheels we find. So we'll start with this one, which we've seen earlier, which takes the last digit. This is the wheel of 60, and that's our sequence. And here's what we get. Zeros at the 4 cardinal points and 5s every 30 degrees. However, when we start with 0 and 8, we get 12 zeros and no 5s. And these two wheels of 60 are the only two wheels of 60 found with any of these Fibonacci sequences marked here in white. So what I'm saying is the Fibonacci wheel of 24 is found when we use these number combinations marked in white. And there are two versions of the wheel of 60. We find the exact same pattern in the Lucas wheels of 24. Again, when we map out 0 and 2 and 0 and 7, we get our root wheel of 24 numbers in the center, and they perfectly match this Lucas wheel of 24. And when we take the final digits, we get these two separate wheels of 60. So if we start with 0 and 2, we get this one where 0 occurs 12 times. If we start with 0 and 7, 0 occurs 4 times, and the 30-degree marks is filled by 5. We find the identical pattern on a GHANNAM wheel. If we take the root numbers with 04 or 05, we get the identical GHANNAM wheel of 24. If we take the end digits, we have two separate possible wheels. We have this one where 0 occurs 12 times at the 30-degree angles. And we have this one where it occurs every 15 degrees. When we take the Tesla wheel, starting with 0 and 3, we get this pattern 33696639. So 33696639. If we start with 6, we get it 66393369, 66393369. So again, when we take the root numbers starting with 0 and 3 or 0 and 6, we get the same Tesla wheel of 24. And I've called this the Tesla wheel because it's got 3 6s and 9s, just like his famous quote. When we take the end digits starting with 0 and 3, we find this wheel. And again, 0 in the cardinal points, 5s in the every 30 degrees apart from the cardinal points. And if we start with 0 and 6, 0 is at all 12 points. If we take the 9s and the 0 wheels, the 9s wheel is just a wheel of 9s. And when we take the final digits, we get this. And the 0 occurs at the cardinal points, and again the 5s at each 30-degree mark. When we take the wheel of zeros, all we get is zeros. When we take the Tesla wheel, we find that the 9s are always in the golden keystone positions. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. And between them, we've got the 3s and the 6s. So the 3s and the 6s in this example are found in the white positions, and the 9s are found in the golden positions. The sum of all numbers on the Tesla wheel is 135. The sum of all numbers on the Fibonacci, Lucas and GHANNAM wheel is 117, which we're going to discuss in a moment. All wheels add up to a digital root of 9. Now the 9s wheels has 24 9s. The sum of this wheel is 216, and 216 is 3 cubed plus 4 cubed plus 5 cubed, and it's also 6 cubed. 216 is also the sum of twin prime numbers 107 and 109. The 0 wheel is the outer limits. From the 1, the central 0, come the many. We will discuss the law of the 1 and the many later it is one of nature's key principles. Now, the wheels of 24, let's do a quick summary. The opposite numbers always add to 9. Two independent interwoven sequences. We've got the gold numbers and we've got the white numbers. Earlier I showed you the two hexagons, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and then it's equal opposite, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. You will also notice this is where the pairs are found. Pair of 1s, pair of 2s, pair of 5s, pair of 4s, pair of 7s, pair of 8s. And in between is where we get our 9s. 8 and 1 is 9, 6 and 3 is 9, 1 and 8 is 9, 6 and 3 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, and then of course we've got 9 and 9 in the crown positions. In all of the wheels of 24, two numbers will appear 5 times and all the rest will appear twice. In this example, both 1 and 8 repeat 5 times and all the rest of the numbers appear twice. 1 appears 5 times and so does 8. And every other number appears twice. So 9 appears twice, 3, 6, 2, etc. All of the wheels of 24 fit into the Stargate master wheel of 12. So the Stargate wheel is the pattern underlying all of this. And all of these wheels, these white and gold wheels, add up to 117. 117, of course, reduces to 9. It's also the smallest possible whole number tetrahedron. And the tetrahedron is an extremely important shape in nature, which we'll cover the Platonic solids later. In each of these gold and white wheels, we find a 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 hexagon appearing twice, one spinning clockwise, one spinning anti-clockwise. We always find an outer 339, 669 golden hexagon and an inner golden hexagon. Outer golden hexagon is always made out of our golden numbers, 3, 6 and 9, whereas our inner golden hexagon is made out of one of the number pairs, either 1 and 8, 5 and 4, or 2 and 7. All three of the inner hexagons add up to 27 and the outer one adds up to 36. So the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, we've two of those, they add up to 27. The 8 and 1 adds up to 27, and of course the 339, 669 adds up to 36, all reduces to 9. Each white section found in these gold and white wheels, whether it's Fibonacci, Lucas or GHANNAM, will add up to 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. Every wheel of 24 has two repeating wheels of 60 based on the last digits. Other wheels of 24 can be created using these principles. 0 is the source. Everything starts there. It's just a quick reminder. So here we have the pair. And we get 9s, and that goes all the way down horizontally and also vertically. The same thing applies. And of course, the Stargate wheel is the master wheel. The Fibonacci, Lucas and GHANNAM numbers all fit this perfectly. We use this colour scheme throughout our work to make it easier to grasp the concepts we're teaching. Mathematics is quite abstract, and when we put colour and geometry around it, it makes it a lot more straightforward. The gold and the white sections represent two independent, interwoven, infinite number sequences. So we have a little bit of alliteration here. Independent, interwoven, and infinite. So they're independent of each other, but they're interwoven, they're entangled. And they're both infinite. They both spiral to infinity. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 and 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9 are independent of each other, yet they're interwoven and they're infinite. They spiral to infinity. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 is ruled by 3 and 6. 9 rules 3 and 6, and 0 rules all. 0 is the master number. 9 is the king, and 0 is the queen, to use that terminology. We have all these wheels within wheels. So we saw this earlier. This is what happens when we overlap the Lucas, which is the outer wheel, the GHANNAM, and the Fibonacci. with the Stargate. So the Stargate wheel is the inner one. Next, we've got Fibonacci, GHANNAM, and Lucas. Now, in this example, I have aligned them all to add to 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So each one of these chunks will add to 1. 7 and 7 is 14, and 5 is 19. 9 plus 1 is 10, and 1 plus 0, so 1. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 1. 5 plus 4 plus 1 to 1. So 1, 1, 1. If you do the math, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 spins to infinity in all three wheels. And as I've said already, the Stargate wheel is the master wheel. Here we have overlapped the Lucas, which is the outer wheel, the GHANNAM, the Fibonacci, with the Stargate wheel. In this example, each of these white sections will add to 1, will add to 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And you notice that if we align the white sections, the golden sections change. So no longer are they all aligned. Or similarly, if we align the golden sections, the white ones move around. It still keeps the Stargate pattern of 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. It just moves around. So to simplify this down, when we align 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and we tally each of the white sections, this is what it looks like. Or if we do the same with the golden Keystone numbers, 339, 669, and we tally them, this is what it looks like. And again, you can see 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 on the outer one, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 on the second one in, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 on the Fibonacci, and 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 on the Stargate. Now, I intentionally aligned the Fibonacci wheel, which is the second one, with the Stargate wheel in all of these diagrams, just to keep as much consistency as I can. I appreciate these numbers can be a little bit abstract. I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. I describe these as the inner wheels. Then we've got the outer wheels. And when we put all our wheels together, we get what I call the Keystone wheel. We have mathematics, music, colour, sound, geometry, all in one Keystone wheel. This is the Rosetta Stone. This brings together mathematics, light, sound, music, colour, geometry, all on one Rosetta Stone that shows the interlocking patterns between them all. It all emanates from the zero, and it all ends with the zero. From the one comes the many, and from the many the return to the one. Now in the centre of the Keystone wheel, we have the circle of fifths. So let's take a closer look. This is the circle of fifths. It's the musical scale. Musicians use this to understand the relationships between notes, between scales and harmonies and complementary notes and things like that. We have overlapped this with the colour wheel to show the relationship between sound and colour. And we've also overlapped it with mathematics to show the relationship between number, sound and colour. Nature does not distinguish between number, sound and colour. Why should we? There's a beautiful geometry to sound and music, and there's a beautiful geometry to mathematics. So let's put them all together. And here's what we get. This is your chromatic musical scale, and each colour represents different musical relationships. Now there are a lot more musical relationships than on this image, but this will give you an idea of its beauty, its geometry, and the overall complexity. So here's the relationship of fifths, whole tones, minor thirds, major thirds, chromatic relationship, and the tritones. And when we put it all together, we get the circle of fifths, which is perfectly matching Stargate maths. Nature does not distinguish between number, sound, and colour, and neither should we. We need to develop a programming and a technical language that's able to incorporate all three. And the missing piece of the jigsaw is the mathematics. Now here we have the musical scale, the chromatic scale, 12 notes. And within those 12 notes, all other notes are found. And the same applies to Stargate maths. Within this matrix, all other numbers are found. Odd numbers are considered male numbers. So with that thinking, 9 is therefore the king of numbers. And even numbers are considered female. Therefore 0 is the queen of numbers and the mother of all. Now we have spent some time examining the Stargate wheel, the Fibonacci, Lucas and GHANNAM wheels, the Tesla 9s and 0 wheels. We've looked at wheels of 60, but there are a lot more number wheels. So let's examine even more number wheels. So we spend a lot of time looking at the Fibonacci wheel, but there are other Fibonacci numbers that are less well known but equally important. So let's start with what's called the 2 Fibonacci or the PELL sequence. Now if you want to research these, here are the sequence numbers. You can do that in your own time. But to save you the hassle, here are the PELL numbers and here is their digital root. And here's another version of 2 Fibonacci numbers and their digital root, and both of them fit this wheel. And this wheel is remarkably similar to the other ones we've investigated. It fits the Stargate wheel, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, perfectly, and the opposite numbers all add up to 9. And within this wheel we find the same patterns. An inner 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and its opposite 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. So whenever we find these 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 inner hexagons, one spins clockwise, the other spins anti-clockwise. We also find an inner and an outer golden hexagon. So our outer one, 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9, and our inner one, in this case, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2. And it all leads to 9. And again, we have the same patterns. Pair, 1 and 1 pair, 9. Pair, 9. Pair, 9. And the same applies this way, of course. Pair, 9. Pair, 9. Horizontally or vertically is the same. The exact same patterns apply to this sequence as all of the other sequences you've already learned. We also find this Fibonacci sequence. This is called the 3 and the 6 Fibonacci. This one is very different because all we have is ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And our golden keystone sections are also different. 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. In all the other ones so far, it was 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9. But this one is 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. So obviously, the opposites don't add to 9 here, apart from the central one. So 9 plus 9 is 18, which goes back to 9. But 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. 1 plus 1, 2. 6 plus 6 goes back to 3 and 2. Here we have a hexagon of ones. This is an extraordinarily important number wheel. This is also another extremely important number wheel. This is called the 4 and the 5 Fibonacci sequence. And in this case, in our golden keystone sections, it's only the number 9 we find. This is another extremely important wheel. Okay. Now again, we've returned to everything adding up to 9. And again, we have 9, pair, 9, pair, 9, pair. If we do it vertically, we have pair, just so happens to be 9 as well. 9, pair, 9. And as you can see, we're finding the same patterns over and over again. Now this one is also a little different. In the golden keystone sections, it's all 9s this time. And the inner hexagons also all add to 9. Now here we have 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. That was found in the Fibonacci numbers earlier. And it's found here twice. 8, 1, 8, 1. And in the center, we have 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, which was in the GHANNAM numbers. So these number pairs 4 and 5 are extremely important. And you'll notice this is the 4 and the 5 Fibonacci sequences. So this is called the 4 Fibonacci sequences, and this is called the 5 Fibonacci sequences, and here we've taken the root numbers. And again, here's the sequence numbers if you wish to research this further. And again, everything adds to 9. Really quite beautiful. There is another sequence called the JACOBSTHAL numbers. Here's the sequence number if you wish to research it, and here we have the root numbers with the golden numbers isolated. You will notice that everything adds up to 9 again. What's different about this wheel is there are 2 inner numbers, not 3. And within it, we have our 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 hexagon, one spinning clockwise, one spinning anti-clockwise, and our white sections this time add up to 7 and 2. So that makes this wheel a little unusual. Now there's also the 2-2 Fibonacci sequence. So here are the numbers, and here's the simplification, and here's the sequence if you wish to learn more. This one is very unusual. Firstly, each white section adds up to 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. The opposing numbers are their mirror image. So this is a mirror pattern. And in our golden section, we have 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. So the white section is spinning 3, 6, 9 in a clockwise direction, and the golden section is spinning 3, 6, 9 in an anti-clockwise direction. Very interesting sequence. So now we return to the Stargate wheel. We have discovered many more number wheels that have not been included in this presentation because it would be too long, and there are many more yet to be discovered. And our aim with this presentation is to spark new lines of thinking and to inspire scholars all around the world to investigate the hidden mysteries and enigmas of mathematics. And I think we have clearly demonstrated that the Stargate wheel is at the centre of it all. And this presentation sheds some light on Nikola Tesla's famous riddle: if you understand the magnificence of 3, 6 and 9, you would hold a key to the universe. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 and 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9 are interwoven like this. The dodecahedral numbers are very interesting. When we reduce them, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This image of a dodecahedron was drawn by Leonardo da Vinci. The dodecahedron is one of the Platonic solids. So let's examine those. There are 5 Platonic solids: the tetrahedron, octahedron, hexahedron, icosahedron, and dodecahedron. To the ancients, they represented fire, air, earth, water, and ether, or spirit. Now, in modern science, fire is plasma, air is gas, earth is solids, water is liquids, and ether is something modern science really struggles with. For simplicity, I'm just going to call that the 0 point. These are the 5 building blocks of nature, extraordinary, important shapes. When we add up all the angles, it all goes back to 9. 720, 7 plus 2 plus 0, 9. 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 0, 9. 9, 9, 9. The dodecahedron is the most sacred of all the shapes in sacred geometry because it contains all the rest of them. You will notice that it has 12 faces. It's 12-sided, just like Stargate maths. The Stargate wheel of 12 is based on the Platonic solids, and the Platonic solids are nature's building blocks. Regular shapes go back to 9 as well. If we take a circle, 360 degrees goes back to 9. Split it in half, 180 degrees, 9 and 9. If we form a triangle, 120 degrees by 3, 369. A square, total of its angles, 369. 3, 6, 0, and 9, the 4 golden numbers. Same with a hexagon, same with when we split it into 8. So 9 is an extraordinarily important number. Let's quickly examine some other number patterns. So this is the doubling sequence. We've seen this many times. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And what I've done here is I've put these into boxes to break them down. So we've got our 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And here it is again. Now, I just want to point out something. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 4 plus 8 goes back to 3. 7 plus 5 goes back to 3. However, if I start here, 2 plus 4, I get 6. 8 plus 7, 6. 5 plus 1, 6. This 3 and 6 is a binary code. We can use this to unravel nature's mysteries. Because there are only 2 possible digits, this is a binary code. This is nature's binary code. Man uses 0 and 1. Nature uses 3 and 6. Now we have triangular numbers. And when we isolate it and break it down, we find this pattern: 1, 3, 6, 1, 6, 3, 1, 9, 9, 1. Okay, and then what I've done here is I've just placed them into boxes just to simplify it down so we can see a pattern. So essentially 1, 3, 6, 1, 6, 3, 1, 9, 9, 1, 3, 6, 1. That repeats to infinity. Then we have square numbers, and we find this pattern. 1 plus 4 is 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9. So this pattern repeats to infinity. So the pattern is 1, 4, 9, 7, 7, 9, 4, 1, 9, and it goes to infinity. But when we break it down between the golden and the non-golden numbers, we get 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9. And of course, we've got cubed numbers. And we take the cubed numbers, we find this pattern: 1, 8, 9, 1, 8, 9, 1, 8, 9, 1, 8, 9. And of course, 1 plus 8 equals 9. So it's like 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. And 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8 is a pattern used in the Fibonacci hexagon, which we discovered earlier. Now the pentagonal numbers, we find this pattern. 1 plus 5 is 6, 3. So 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9. And our golden numbers give us 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. So as you can see, this 3, 6, 9 is weaved throughout all of these numbers. The centered pentagonal numbers, we find 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6. It spins to infinity. These are hexagonal numbers, and when we isolate them, we get a pattern of 1, 6, 6, 1, 9, 3, 1, 3, 9. There's also centered hexagonal numbers, and we find this pattern: 1, 7, 1, 1, 7, 1, 1, 7, 1, 1, 7, 1, and which, when we put these 3 together, gives us 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Then we have heptagonal numbers based on the number 7. So here's our heptagonal numbers. Here's our roots, and we find this 179, 719, 449 that goes to infinity. And when we put these together, 1 plus 7 is 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9. That's another binary code. When we take really complicated numbers and bundle them together, we find binary codes within. With octagonal numbers, we find this code: 183, 426, 759, repeats to infinity. And when we break it down between golden and regular numbers, 1 and 8 comes to 9, 3, 6, 3. So 963, 963, 963, and its equal opposite 369, 369, 369. Now the dodecahedral numbers, which we looked at earlier, our root numbers give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that repeats to infinity. And when we isolate between regular and golden numbers, we get this pattern: 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9. So 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6. And the opposite, we get 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. We've looked at the Fibonacci numbers extensively today, and we discovered 2 separate patterns: 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, 9. You'll notice it starts with 0. 0 is overlooked enormously in mathematics. 0 is the source. It's the starting point. In all of the wheels we have looked at today, 0 is the starting point. 9 takes over from 0. So I mentioned earlier the law of the one and the many. This is one of nature's key principles. In fact, it's one of the most fundamental principles in all of nature. And here's how it works. From the one comes the many. 0, the center point, is the source. and from it comes the many. The one is the source, it's the singularity, the fountain. So from the one comes the many, and from the many comes the one. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. It comes from the source, and it returns to the source. And mathematically, this is what it looks like. There are 24 nines because nature uses wheels of 24. And within those wheels of 24, she uses wheels of 60. So let me explain this. Gravity is many to one. It's chaos to order, represented here by grey. Radiation or light is one to many. It goes from order to chaos. So we move from chaos to order, and from order to chaos. Gravity and radiation are equal opposites. Science has not yet discovered this. We just have to wait for them to catch up. From the one comes the many, and from the many comes the one. Gravity is an inversion of radiation. It's equal opposite. Gravitational waves move at light speed. What I have just said will be considered nonsense, gibberish, pseudoscience, etc. Don't believe a word I say throughout this presentation. Just think for yourself. But I'm putting this theory forward that gravity is an inversion of radiation. It's its equal opposite. Gravity goes from many to one. Radiation goes from one to many. Like this. Gravity in, radiation out. Gravity is many going to one, to the source, zero, the 0 point. Radiation is the one going to the many. If we isolate just the number 0, this is what it looks like. Gravity in, radiation out. Radiation is one to many. From the one comes the many. Gravity is many to one. From the many comes the one. You might call this a hokey-pokey universe. Gravity in, radiation out, and magnetism shakes it all about. Magnetism is the soul of the universe, and it has now been proven that magnetic fields form before stars, planets, and galaxies. In other words, magnetic fields and black holes come first. And this is how it works. Radiation out, one to many. Gravity in, many to one. It's a fountain. A torus shape. Like an apple. It's shaped like an apple, and 0 is the seed. It's shaped like a fountain, and 0 is the spring. At all levels we find this pattern, whether it's at the quantum level, whether it's at the cosmic level, or anything in between. Radiation and gravity are two poles of magnetism. This is another diagram to explain this. This is how the universe works. It's a torus shape. So you see we have a north and a south pole. One is coming from the center out, going from one to many, and then it returns from many to one. This is one of nature's master laws, the one and the many. The one is the 0 central point, the source, the spring. This is how magnetism works. Gravity is the equal opposite of radiation. And when science finally discovers that, the game changes. And this is our 0 point, dead center. From the one comes the many, and from the many returns to the one. That's our 0 point. Metatron's cube is a famous symbol in sacred geometry, and it fits Stargate mathematics perfectly. The entire universe is made out of pairs of opposites. And one of the foundational pairs is light, or electromagnetism. And this is how electromagnetism works. You've got two fields within one. It's really a twin ray. I'll say that again. A ray of light is one ray, but it's really two. It's got an electric field and a magnetic field. And if we look at it head on, this is what it's like. You'll notice that the 0 is in the center. So 0 represents direction. So light is really a twin ray. And this is important to understand how nature does its business. So let me propose a theory. I call this the theory of everything. This massively simplifies a very complicated process. From a 0 point, light emerges, splits into positive and negative charges. The two of those eventually combine, return to light, and return to the 0 point. So let's break this down. The Higgs boson is the 0 point. This is the smallest known particle scientists are aware of. There may be a particle beyond that. We don't know. But for the moment, we're working with the Higgs boson as the smallest. The Higgs boson is a chargeless, zero-spin particle. And it's like a mini black hole. It's the 0 point energy. There are several little steps between a 0 point Higgs boson and light. Things like gluons. But we're going to ignore those for the moment and just go straight from the Higgs boson to light. Here we have light photons. So this is step 2. Light photons have 0 charge but full spin. The Higgs boson is a chargeless, zero-spin particle. A photon of light is 0 charge, full spin. Chargeless is not the same as 0 charge, and we will discuss that later. Light is electromagnetic twin rays. Now, when I say light, we only see a tiny part of the spectrum. So when I speak of light, I'm talking about the entire spectrum, not just the visible. So electromagnetism. So light photons are twin rays. One to many. Here we've got the one. Now we've got many rays of light, or waves of light. Next we move to pair production. Here we get charged pairs of opposites, positive and negative. So for example, positron and electron, for example. Each of the pairs has a half spin, and it also has a mirror antiparticle with the other half spin. When you unite the two of them, you get a full spin light photon. Each charge has a half spin. So here we went from 0 spin to full spin to half spin. And each charge has a mirror antiparticle. An antiparticle is nothing more than a mirror particle. Each pair are entangled with each other. So when these two split, they remain entangled like an invisible silver thread holding them together. And they are seeking neutrality. All charge wants to return to balance, to 0. The division is radiation. The union is gravity. Step 1, 0 point, Higgs boson. Photons of light, step 2. Pair production, step 3. So the twin ray has become a pair. Step 4 is a synergy of opposites. Here we have a creation of opposites, which science calls pair production. Here we have a synergy of opposites. When opposite charges unite, they create light. Learned information is stored in the 0 point. And information cannot be destroyed and is constantly multiplying. This is called the conservation of information. Information at a quantum level cannot be destroyed. Now, there's a big argument in science at the moment. If information can't be destroyed, can it be created? I say yes. Some say yes, others say no. If the answer is no, then information is energy. But if the answer is yes, information can be created but cannot be destroyed. Information, i.e. knowledge, mind, is more fundamental than matter. Now, synergy means the sum is greater than the parts. So when opposites unite, they create light, and new information has been learned. So learned information is stored in the 0 point. Information cannot be destroyed and is constantly multiplying. Nature divides to multiply intelligence. So you imagine this on a galactic scale. It divides into opposites and unites in a synergy of opposites, but the synergy has learned new information. The universe is learning all the time, and its learned information is uploaded to the 0 point, the great cosmic internet, the big brain. I'm going to put it on the record now that the universe is conscious, that the 0 point is the source of consciousness, and that the Big Bang theory, while popular, is wrong. The Big Bang is nothing more than a smaller part of a greater cycle, rather than the be-all and end-all. Nature divides to multiply intelligence. In other words, nature is evolving. It's getting smarter. It's getting more efficient. Learned information is uploaded to the 0 point. That's where it's stored, if you like. And that's a field of intelligence we can tune into. To use modern language, we could call that the great cosmic internet, or the big brain. Other terms for it have been things like the mastermind, L fields, the noospheres. There's many different terms. Today there is as much dogma in science as there is in religion. And probably the biggest three dogmas are the Big Bang theory, the origin of life, and the origin of man. So the origin of man is out of Africa. However, the oldest pre-human hominin skeletons ever found in Africa are 4.4 million years old, while the oldest found in Europe at two separate sites are 7.2 million years old. So that theory is about to come crumbling down. Second one, the origin of life, the primordial soup, that life somehow magically started in early Earth, seems to be creaking, and it looks like panspermia, which essentially says that microbes, bacteria is floating all around the universe, seems to be a lot more practical. The big one of all is the Big Bang, and this one will fall. The Big Bang essentially says the universe just popped into existence, and it's constantly expanding, and it's full of dark energy or dark matter. Now, the expanding universe and the dark matter or dark energy are recent additions to the original Big Bang theory to make it fit. And evidence has been piling in to undermine the Big Bang theory, but it has turned into a dogma. Science has largely overlooked the importance of magnetic fields. It's a magnetic universe. Magnetism runs the show. And this is something that science has largely overlooked until very recently, where some scientists have started using the term the magnetic soul of the universe. Having studied the religions of the world, past and present, having studied hundreds of different academic disciplines, I've come to the conclusion that nobody has all the answers. And if I'm to put it quite poetically, it seems to me that religion has lost its mind, and science has lost its soul. Scientists are afraid of the metaphysical, of the non-physical, of consciousness. Religions are afraid of logic. But true religion and true science do not need to fight. Religions contain wisdom and nonsense in equal measure. And there is as much dogma in science today as there is in religion. The universe did not originate in a Big Bang. That's part of a much larger cycle. Here we have gluon messenger particles. Now, what's interesting about these guys is these guys fill the entire universe before matter was created. So scientists think that this kind of particle, a plasma, which has a temperature of 4 trillion degrees, existed just after the moment of the apparent Big Bang. Okay, so let's just take that in. These particles exist at 4 trillion degrees, a temperature we can't comprehend, and existed at the moment of the apparent Big Bang. So these particles apparently were around before there was physical matter. These little guys filled the entire universe before matter was created. Look at the shape. We have a 0 point in the center. We have 6 little sections here, and we have 12 sections on the outside. And it perfectly overlaps with Stargate maths. Numbers are particles. Now, returning to the Stargate Wheel of 12, we've got 10 numbers in 13 spaces. The Wheel of 12 and the 0 itself. The total of all numbers is 63, which returns to 9. And interestingly, 9 times 13 gives us 117, which is the total of the Fibonacci Wheel of 24 and all of those gold and white wheels of 24 we saw earlier. Here's an example, the Fibonacci Wheel of 24, 10 numbers in 25 spaces, 24 around the outside, the 0 point. The total of all numbers is 117.9. And as we just said, the 13 spaces on the Stargate Wheel, if you multiply 13 by 9, you get 117. So there's a big connection there. When we multiply numbers and take the digital root, we find this pattern. So if we take 1 and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 going this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 going that way. And you'll notice it's the number pairs we've seen throughout this presentation. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5, etc. Each and every number pair adds to 9. And these sequences are equal opposites. So this one goes that way, this one goes this way. And they both repeat to infinity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. And this one is in reverse. An equal and opposite number pattern repeats to infinity for all number pairs. And here they are. So 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 4 and 5, 3 and 6, 9 and 0. I'm not going to go through all of these, but very simply you can see our number pairs. 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6, 3, 7, 2, 8, 1. And we find the same pairs throughout all of these. And here, 9 and 0 are a number pair. That is overlooked by most mathematicians and people interested in alternative mathematics. 0 is a twin of 9. 0 is a twin of 9. These are number pairs, and 0 is a pair of 9. If we do addition, I'll just very quickly go through this. 1 plus 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if we isolate the golden and the regular numbers and put them together, we get 339, 669, 339, 669. 2 plus 2, again, 669, 339. So with any of our regular numbers, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5, this pattern is woven within it. 339, 669. 339, 669. 339, 669, etc. With our 3s and 6s, the pattern is all 9s, which is the wheel of 9s we discovered earlier. And with the 3, 6s, and 9s, when it comes to addition, we just get a pattern of 999 all the way. And there's just a simplification of it. So these patterns all repeat to infinity. All of these patterns have been calculated using a pen, paper, and a spreadsheet. When these patterns are plugged into supercomputers, on the other hand, it will be able to discover things way beyond anything we've found. When we take multiplication patterns, these are all the different codes we find. So the one we've described already, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. When we multiply by 3, we get 99999. By 4, 471, 471. By 5, 6, etc. You can check those out yourself. When we divide 1 by 8.008, we get the pattern 0.124875, and the 124875 repeats to infinity. The 124875, I first read about this studying the work of Marco Rodin, and I first heard about the 369 enigma reading about Nikola Tesla. So I just want to acknowledge Marco's work. I think Marco's work is underappreciated. If I take Marco's work and I put it on a wheel, this is what we get. 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 plus 5 is 9, 7 plus 8 is 6, 369, 369. And that's why I use the Stargate wheel, because there are 2 3s, 2 6s, and 2 9s, which I found throughout nature. As above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below is a hermetic principle. It basically means that the same laws of nature apply at all levels. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with a universe, an atom, a subatomic particle, or a photon of light, or a Higgs boson. From the quantum level to the cosmic level, the same laws apply, the same principles. As above, so below. The reason this is important is because once we understand the same principles apply at every level, we can make rapid shortcuts in our learning and put things together. Innovation occurs when we take an idea from one field and apply it to another. The great hermetic principle of as above, so below has stood the test of time and the persecution of tyrants. Returning to the Dublin sequence, so with the numbers 124875, we get this pattern. When we double 3, we get a binary code, 3636363636. When we double 9, we just get 9999999. So here we've got 3 different codes. 124875 repeats to infinity. 99999 repeats to infinity. 363636 repeats to infinity, but it's a binary pattern. And the binary patterns nature uses are the number pairs we discovered earlier. 3 and 6, 7 and 2, 5 and 4, 8 and 1, 9 and 0. Binary computer coding, which is based on 0 and 1, has powered so much of human advancement, but it needs an upgrade. It's like using a 2-digit calculator. Base 10 is infinitely more powerful, and integrating binary coding with base 10 will revolutionize human technology. We are a species of tool makers. It is our tools, our technology, that determines our evolution. Tools determine our progress as a species. In the Stone Age, we used stone tools. In the Iron Age, we used iron tools. In the Industrial Age, industrial tools. In the Information Age, information tools. What will the next age be? An age of wisdom. The binary code is like using a calculator with 2 digits. If we take 1 digit, there's only 2 possible combinations. If we take 3 digits, 8 possible combinations. 10 digits, 1024. However, by using base 10 programming, after 1 digit, there's 10 combinations. After 3, there's 1,000. After 10, there is 10 billion. So after just 10 digits, base 10 has almost 10 million times more combinations. And after 20 digits, it's almost 100 trillion. Our entire computer systems, software is all based on the binary code. We can develop a base 10 programming language that integrates 0 and 1 so that all of the old programming and technology is integrated and doesn't become obsolete, but we can create a base 10 system that's infinitely more powerful. And that's what we're going to need to do over time. The 0 point is the source of infinite energy and consciousness. Now, science has no idea where consciousness comes from. I'm offering a theory that it comes from the 0 point. Science is based on the 5 senses: touch, sight, sound, taste, and smell. But consciousness goes beyond all of those. The 0 point is the source of infinite intelligence, the wisdom of the universe, which we can tune into. We tune into it with a balanced mind, not a positive mind, not a negative mind, a balanced mind. Negative thinking leads to depression. Positive thinking leads to delusion. but positive and negative together leads to wisdom. Balance. Nature is pleased with balance. 9 represents light. 0 charged particles that carry information. We call these messenger particles. However, 0 represents ether. These are neutral, chargeless particles that store information. So we've got source particles and messenger particles, and I'll explain both. But this is a key observation. 0 charge is not the same as chargeless. 0 charge is not the same as chargeless. A 0 bank balance is not the same thing as not having a bank account. Having a 0 charge, no debits, no credits, just 0, is different than not having a bank account in the first place. The content may be the same, but the context is very different. Light and ether. Light is a full spin represented by the number 1 in science. Ether is 0 spin, which is called a Higgs boson, by the way. 0. Light is a force particle. Ether is a source particle. Light carries information. Ether stores information. This is the number 9. This is the number 0. This has a 0 charge. This is chargeless. This is perfectly balanced. This is perfectly neutral. This is a photon of light. This is a Higgs boson. Perfectly balanced, positive equals negative. Perfectly neutral, neither positive nor negative. There's a difference. Positive equals negative, neither positive or negative. This is the Seal of Solomon, the ancient seal of wisdom, and it perfectly fits Stargate maths. The Seal of Solomon consists of 2 triangles, the upward male and the downward female triangle, giving us perfect balance. This is called the sacred marriage. The synergy of opposites is created from the union of male and female energy, or masculine and feminine energy, or positive and negative energy, whatever terminology you wish to use. Together, opposites can create what neither can create alone. For example, the seed and the egg are both needed to create life. When you join positive and negative charges together, you create light. When you join positive and negative together in your mind, you create enlightenment. Positive thinking only leads to delusion. Negative thinking only leads to depression. But positive and negative thinking together leads to wisdom, because it's balanced. The seed and the egg create life. The seed of life, the life spark. The alpha and the omega. Alpha, or the fine structure constant, has mystified scientists since the 1800s. The number 1/137 holds the key to the grand unified theory. This is known as the holy grail of science. Relativity, electromagnetism, and quantum mechanics are all unified by this number. So this number is an extremely important number and a mystical number. The alpha code is found by doubling the previous number and adding 1. So starting at 0, 0's doubled is 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 doubled is 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 doubled is 2, which is 6 plus 1 is 7. And we find this code, 137649. 9 doubled is 18, plus 1 is 19. 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 0, we're back to 1. So 137 repeats to infinity. So we have an alpha code of 137649. Tallied up gives us the number 3. We have an omega code, which is its equal opposite, 862359, which gives us 6. And we have a code of 9s, which gives us 9s. So our alpha sequence, 1, 3, 7, 6, 4, 9. 1, 3, 7, 6, 4, 9. Our omega sequence, 8, 6, 2, 3, 5, 9. 8, 6, 2, 3, 5, 9. And of course, we put the 2 together, and this is what we find. Really quite beautiful. So our alpha and omega sequences, I've created these little number wheels for them. Our alpha wheel, 137649. Our omega wheel, 862359. Now, interestingly, when we add the opposites, we always get 7 for the alpha. 6 and 1 is 7. 9 and 7 returns to 7, 4 and 3, 7. Here, the opposite return to 2. 9 and 2, 11, 2. 8 and 3, 11, 2. 5 and 6, 11, 2. And then our 9s. And when we put the two of them together in an overlapping wheel of 12, here's what we find. Everything returns to 9. So basically, when the alpha wheel is spinning, 1, 3, 7, 6, 4, 9, the omega wheel is spinning, and the two of them are overlapping, interweaving, interwoven, and infinite sequences. Another way of explaining this is this diagram. I've taken the regular and the golden numbers and plotted them out, and we find that there are 4 triangles. A 3, 6, 9 and a 6, 3, 9, a 1, 4, 7 and a 2, 5, 8. So this is the exact measurement of the fine structure constant. On first glance, there's 3 9s in the middle. There's a 6 and 2 3s. There's 2 zeros. And if we take all of these and add them up to find the digital root, it returns to 9. So this doesn't explain the mystery of the fine structure constant, but my aim in including this is to shed some light on it. The sum of the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 sequence is 27, 9. Sum of all digits between 1 to 9 is 45, 9. Sum of all digits 1 to 8, 36, 9. Normal human heartbeat, 72 beats per minute, 9. Human respiration rate, 18 per minute, 9. Minutes in a day, 9. 86,400 seconds in a day, 9. 31,536,000 seconds in a year, 9. The speed of light reduces to 9. The great cosmic year, 9. That's also called the precession of the equinox. 1 Kali Yuga from Sanskrit teachings, 432,000 years, 9. The clay tablet enigma. There was a clay tablet found with this enormous number on it. It reduced down to 9. To the ancients, the two main elements was fire and water. The heavenly fires and the heavenly waters is what they described it as. The red upward triangle was fire. The blue downward triangle was water. I want to point out something here. I've assigned charges to each of these as follows. We have a red fire triangle, which is 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up. And we have a blue water triangle, which is 2 up and 1 down. A red fire triangle, 2 down, 1 up. -6 minus 3 is -9. Plus 9 is 0. Plus 6 plus 3, that gives us plus 9. Minus 9 is 0. So each triangle has 0 charge. It's not chargeless. It has a 0 charge. 0 is chargeless. But these triangles are 0 charge. So there's a subtle but extremely important distinction there. By doing this, we get a positive and a negative side. 2 poles of a magnet. Positive, 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 positive side, negative, 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 negative side. And as we know, nature is a perfect balance of positive and negative. As are you. Wisdom is the union, the synergy of opposites. To be able to see the two sides of the coin, the positive and the negative, at the same time. Magnetism flows like a fountain from an eternal spring. Numbers are particles. They're mind particles. And 0 is a magnetic monopole. A monopole is both charges at the same time. So it's not a north pole and a south pole. It's a singularity. Magnetism flows like a fountain from an eternal spring. Numbers are particles. They are mind particles. Numbers are more fundamental than energy. If you accept the Big Bang Theory that all energy was created from a 0 point, then 0 came first. Numbers are more fundamental than energy. 0 is a magnetic monopole. So here's 2 poles, 2 sides of a magnet, if you will, and the 0 is dead center. It's what's called a monopole. In other words, it's the two together. It's the singularity, the union, the synergy of opposites. Now, nature's most important laws is the law of divide to multiply. It divides up in order to multiply. And the law of the one to the many. From the one comes the many, from the many comes the one. There is also pairs of opposites. Everything has its opposite. But when they unite, it creates a synergy. In other words, a synergy, the sum is greater than the parts. And from a universal perspective, every time opposites unite, it creates knowledge. It creates wisdom. The universe, therefore, is an infinite genius and infinitely ignorant at the same time. In other words, the more it knows, the more it wants to know. The more it learns, the more it has to learn. I think the supreme pair of opposites in the universe is wisdom and ignorance. As we learn, the universe learns. As we suffer, the universe suffers. The more the universe learns, the more it has to learn. Magnetism flows like a fountain from an eternal spring. Numbers are particles. They are mind particles. If you accept the Big Bang Theory, science's creation myth, then all energy was created from a 0 point. Therefore, 0 numbers came first. Numbers are more fundamental than energy. The 0 point is a magnetic monopole. Up until very recently, science had speculated about a monopole, but it had never been proven. It has now been proven, which we're about to learn. But what I want to say is this. Numbers are mind particles. In a conscious universe, numbers predate energy. They are more fundamental, more primeval than energy. This is the flow of energy. Flow of magnetism, universal magnetism. Science completely underestimates the importance of magnetism. Magnetic fields come before planets, stars, and solar systems. Magnetism rules the whole show. This is a magnetic monopole that was created quite recently in a laboratory. Magnetic monopoles have been described as the holy grail of physics. I'm saying that black holes, which are also called central suns, so basically it's a central sun or a black hole at the very center of a galaxy. In the same way as we have a sun in the center of a solar system, a black hole is in the center of each galaxy. So black holes are magnetic monopoles, as are the Higgs boson, 0 point, and the number 0. I'm saying that all three of them are magnetic monopoles. Black hole, infinitely large. Higgs boson, infinitely small. The number 0, the equal opposite of infinity, the source. Here are 3 separate pictures of a magnetic monopole. This thing lasted for a tiny fraction of a second. This is what they captured. And as you can see, we've got a central point, a 0 point. We've got 6 coming out, just like our Stargate maths. And on this one, we have 6 inner sections and 12 outer ones. If we overlap the Stargate maths, it's even more obvious. Our 3 6s and 9s. 3 6s and 9s. The blue area in both of these represents the 1 2 4 8 7 5. And on this one, we have our 6 inner sections and our 12 outer ones. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Black holes, Higgs bosons, and the number 0 are all magnetic monopoles. Numbers are particles that go from the formless, using a formula, into form. Nature does not distinguish between number, sound, and colour. We do. And that's a mistake. Here's another diagram of how it works. I've called this fire and water. The upward triangle is considered fire. The downward triangle is considered water. Female water, masculine fire. The teaching of pairs of opposites, symbolised by fire and water, are the most ancient of teachings. At the centre of our galaxy is a black hole, and at the centre of every galaxy is a black hole. Black holes shoot out light, water, the periodic table elements, information, and everything needed to birth life. Every atom in your body came from the great womb at the center of the galaxy, the black hole. You are literally made from stardust. The black hole is the womb of creation. Radiation is one to many. Gravity is many to one. The shape is a little like an apple, and this is the seed. And you can observe how radiation turns to gravity and returns to zero. All nature is striving for balance, a return to the source, zero. The number zero is represented by a circular shape, the symbol of infinity. All nature is striving for a return to balance, a return to zero. And when we bring positive and negative together, we create light. So as we come towards the end of this presentation, let us examine the mystical number pi. It's probably the most famous number in all of mathematics, and it's a hugely important ratio that's found throughout nature. Here's some quick observations before we look for a pattern in pi. The first zero occurs at number 33. It does not occur before that. And later on in pi, around 780 digits or so into it, we find the Feynman point, which is a sequence of 6 nines. That's it there. Now the first number in pi is 3, and the next 3 numbers, 1, 4, 1, total 6. So the total of the first number is 3, next 3 is 6, and those 4 put together gives us 9. The total of the first 9 digits of pi is 27, which is 9. And no pattern has ever been found in pi until now. Now pi is an extremely important number in nature. A full wavelength is 2 pi, which is called tau, and a half wavelength is 1 pi. So this is a wavelength half, which is 1 pi. This is 2 pi, and all this talk of pi is making me hungry. So here is the pattern in pi. What I've done is I've put the digits of pi around the central zero in sections of 12. And what I've done is I've split it in half. And I've taken the outer ring, and this half of the ring adds up to 24. And this half of the outer ring adds up to 42. And 42 is a mirror of 24. Obviously 2 plus 4 is 6, 4 plus 2 is 6. And when you add 42 and 24, you get 66. 2 6s. So this wheel of 12 on the outside, when we divide it in 2, we get 6 and 6. If we tally all the numbers on the left-hand side of the divide, we get 232. If we tally all the numbers on the right-hand side, we get 178. Both of them reduce to 7. So all of these digits put together, 7. All of these digits put together, 7. The outer ring, this half reduces to 6. This half reduces to 6. The totality of all the numbers on the screen here, all of the numbers in the circle, adds up to 410, which is the sum of 6 consecutive primes. Now, this is on the 7th ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have 84 sections in total. So we have 84 numbers in total surrounding the central zero, and we've got 7 rows. There's also 7 rays of light. And in mystical teachings, you had to conquer the 7th ray to reach the 8th ray. So I wonder what happens on the 8th row. Sure enough, we have another pair. So if we divide the 8th row in half, add them up, it reduces to 7. Add it up, reduces to 7. 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. This side, 8, 3, 11, 15, 23, 25, 2 and 5 is 7. On ring number 8, this half equals 7. And this half equals 7. On ring number 7, this half equals 6. And this half equals 6. The total of the left and right sides is 248 and 203, which reduces down to 5 and 5. And all the numbers add up to 451, which is the product of two primes, 11 and 41. Now, what I've done is I've worked out these rings of 12 for the first 10,000 digits in pi, and this similar symmetry is found 81 times on the following rows, and consecutive rows like this row 7 and 8 are marked in gold. Okay, so that's all the symmetries there found in pi using this methodology. Now, some people will say this is just coincidence, and maybe it is, but I think there's a little bit more going on here. These rings of 12, that's the rows, which is when we get two rings in a row with a balance on either side. Now, if we put the two of these together, it reduces to 4. So 4 and 4. Now, if we were to put these in pairs, we would have 4 realms, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And obviously 4 and 4 adds up to 8. Some will say this is just coincidence. I think it's a little more than that. If we take the outer ring here, the 7th ring, and we tally those up, we get 24. We tally these up, we get 42, mirror images of each other. This entire left-hand side reduces down to 7. This entire right-hand side reduces down to 7. So 7 rows and it reduces to 7. But watch this. Watch what happens when we divide the outer row into 3. We get 777. And 777 is a sacred number in many religions. It often represents the Trinity and the 7 rays of light. And 3 times 7 times 37 is 777. So just so you can see the number, 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 and 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 6, 16, 7. And 8 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 is 34, which gives us 7. So now we've got a triple pattern, a 777, which is interesting. Let's take a look at 2 pi, which is called tau. We find the same thing. On the 7th row, this half adds up to 3. And this half adds up to 3. Now this is important. All of the numbers in this add up to 425, which is the product of 3 consecutive primes, 137, 139, and 149. 137, the mysterious number from quantum physics, occurs here. Interesting observation. This is on row 7 of 2 pi, also known as tau. On row 8, we also find a mirror symmetry. This side, this outer ring, this half adds to 5, reduces to 5. This reduces to 5. So 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 19 is 21. 27, 32, 3 plus 2 is 5, 3, 2 is 5, 9, 17, 23, 3 plus 2 is 5. So basically, if you add up all the numbers out for all 8 rings, you get 480, which is the 4 primes before 137. And if you add up all numbers out just to the 7th ring, you get 425, which is the product of the 3 consecutive primes, which includes and starts with 137, 139, 149. So a very interesting observation there. Returning to this wheel, we've got 2 rings of 12 in a row that have mirror symmetry, and tallies 480, which is also the sum of twin primes 239 and 241. So just like pi, we found this pattern in 2 pi. Mirror symmetry. This side reduces to 3, this side reduces to 3. And as I've said a few times, this totals 425, which is the product of 3 primes, including 137. But we also find a trinity here, 555. Some will argue that these are just coincidences, that it's meaningless playing around with numbers. I leave you to make up your own mind. I'm not asking you to believe a word of anything we've taught here. the end of the day, this is numbers, and the numbers don't lie. You can play around with them yourself. In summary, we live in a magnetic universe. Gravity in, radiation out, and magnetism in the center. Magnetism is life force. Gravity in is based in mass, and that's 124875. There is a direct relationship between mass and those numbers. Gravity goes from many to one, and it moves at light speed, the speed of light. Radiation is outwards. It's light, or electromagnetism, 339669, and that goes from one to many. And it also moves at the speed of light. But in the center, we've got magnetism, in and out, the monopole. The code for it is 000000. It's all the zeros. Perhaps nature uses a binary code, plus and negative 0. Interesting. This is magnetism in and out. This is the entangler. It's both the one and the many, and it's instantaneous. It's beyond space-time. I would draw a parallel here with quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement, put simply, means this. Two equal opposite particles can instantly communicate with each other regardless of the distance, faster than the speed of light. So it's instantaneous. The speed of light is the fastest known speed in the physical world, if you like, but in the metaphysical world, there's instantaneous. Magnetism is instantaneous, and the 0 point is instantaneous. So this is the great entangler, the 0 point. Now, the reason this is important is because as we become an intergalactic species, traveling at the speed of light just won't cut it. It's going to be too slow. If we take our current technology, if we increased the speed of our transport to the speed of light, we would need to increase it almost 20,000 times. And even if we managed to achieve that, it would still take us 27,000 light years to travel to the center of our own galaxy, let alone travel all over the heavens. So we need to develop technology that is beyond space-time. We already know quantum entanglement exists. We already know instantaneous communication between particles exists. And it may take a decade, or a century, or even 1,000 years, but we will develop instantaneous teleportation. We will develop instantaneous technology that's beyond space-time. That starts with realizing that gravity and radiation are equal opposites and that magnetism is the great entangler. So obviously traveling at the speed of light is just not fast enough. We need to develop Stargate technology, instantaneous technology, which I'm going to speak about. This image on the screen is of a quasar, the black hole in the center of a galaxy. When a black hole, which is also called a central sun, has sucked in enough light, information, water, minerals, positive and negative charges, it recycles them and shoots out a quasar of light, water, information, elements, and everything needed to create new life. And because it has now got new information, it can create new, more advanced life forms. It is both creator and destroyer. Gravity in, radiation out, and a magnetic monopole in the center. So gravity in, radiation out, magnetism. Gravity in, radiation out, magnetism in the center. This is also how consciousness works. Gravity, our mind goes round in circles with gravitational charges between our memory and our anti-memory, our conscious and our subconscious. And when it's united, it creates light or enlightenment, because we are striving for balance. 0 is the equal opposite of infinity. Now, mathematics doesn't know what to actually do with 0. If you divide 5 by 0, for example, calculator says it's undefined. In other words, we don't know. But what if we divide 0 by 0? Well, it's also undefined. So let me propose a theory. This is how we get something from nothing. 0 divided by 0 equals plus and minus 1. And the formula I've created here is 0 divided 0 equals plus and minus 1. This is how we go from nothing to something. This simple equation perfectly matches the theory of how the universe was created. It perfectly matches pair production and mirror symmetry, which we find all across science. 0 divided by 0 equals plus and minus 1. Don't be fooled by the simplicity of this equation. It has profound implications. The entire universe is made from pairs of opposite. Everything is entangled to its equal opposite. The total of all positive and negative charge in the universe is 0. We live in a zero energy universe, which means there is the exact same amount of energy in the universe today as there was 10 billion years ago. No more, no less. If something cannot gain or lose energy, it cannot age. Aging occurs when we lose energy. It's called entropy. So I'm going to say that again. We live in a zero energy universe. If you tallied all the positive and negative charges in the entire universe, it would add up to 0. We live in a zero energy universe. And there is the exact same amount of energy in the universe today as there was 10 billion years ago. Aging occurs when something loses energy. It's called entropy. However, since the universe cannot lose energy, it cannot age, therefore it must be eternal. Now, science prefers a cause and effect methodology. Something must have a beginning, must have an end. I don't see any reason why it can't be both. Beginning and end cycles within an eternal universe. That makes more sense to me. I have studied the Big Bang Theory and it is as flawed as it is popular. Was there a Big Bang? Yes. Was it the start? No. Entropy causes aging. It's called the arrow of time. And entropy essentially means the loss of energy. But since the universe doesn't lose energy, it's not subject to entropy, therefore it doesn't age. It seems to me that it's an infinite, eternal, recycling universe that's constantly getting smarter. And it's getting smarter by creating pairs of opposites, and when they unite, they create wisdom. Mind, or consciousness, is more fundamental than energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it just changes form. Information is constantly being created but cannot be destroyed. Therefore, information is more fundamental than energy. It's not a big bang, it's a big brain. Here's some final thoughts. What are the long-term applications for Stargate maths? Well, man is a species of tool makers. That is at essence what makes us unique. We create tools, we create technology. How we create tools is we study the laws of nature, we identify nature's principles, and we create tools that help us do more with less, that help us multiply the impact. Stargate maths is a tool to help empower a scientific revolution. Stargate maths makes complicated mathematical patterns really, really simple. Simplicity is the essence of genius. Any fool can make things complicated. Man is a species of tool makers. We invent tools, we create technology. That is our evolutionary edge. If we are to evolve as a species, it will be because of our technology. If we go extinct, it will be because of our technology. Stargate maths is a tool to help empower a scientific revolution. And there's virtually endless scientific and medical applications. Once we understand that light, colour, sound, frequency and number are all interrelated, we can use it to create the most astonishingly advanced technology and power rapid advancements in computing and technology. At some point in the future, we will be able to provide unlimited zero-point energy for all humanity. It may take a decade or a century, but we will get there. And it will also lead to multiplied human intelligence, because mathematics, particularly geometry, uses both parts of our brain, and ultimately our mind is nothing more than an equation that must be balanced. In time, we will invent Stargate, instantaneous space travel technology to enable us to travel the entire universe. Again, it may take a decade, a century, or 1,000 years, but we will get there. Because travelling at the speed of light is just not fast enough to explore the heavens. Stargate technology is required to become an interstellar species. By cracking teleportation, light speed travel will be automatic. We will be able to travel at light speed around this planet, or any other planet we go to, but between planets and galaxies, we will be travelling instantaneously. It's probably then we'll meet advanced civilizations. When we unlock the 0 point, we will become a Stargate species. Man will not be earthbound forever. Our destiny is to explore the heavens by becoming a Stargate species. And that's why this is called Stargate Maths. It's my sincerest wish that from this acorn grows a mighty oak, because the oak sleeps in the acorn. This is a scene from the movie Stargate from 1994. Science fiction will become science fact. All it takes is everything we've got. There's 8 billion of us on the planet. Imagine what we can achieve if we all work together. There's 3 rules of the game at Keystone. The first is, don't believe a word, think for yourself. The point of an education is not to tell you what to think, it's to help you think for yourself. Rule number 2, before you make up your mind, open it. Number 3, wait for the mainstream to catch up. We are a school of advanced studies. By our very nature, we push the boundaries. Our mission is to build the world's best university. And if you want to be part of that, we'd appreciate your help. You can check out our website, keystone.ie. Please like and share this video. Please send this video to anyone you think who would appreciate it, who would find it useful. There are 28,000 universities in the world, and we're not like any of them. Now, we are a new university, a school of advanced studies. We don't run 3-year, long-winded programs for teenagers. We run 3-day, highly intense seminars for adults. For example, if you want to learn about business, you're welcome to spend 3 years of your life and a ton of money learning business from someone who's never actually run one, let alone set up their own successful business. Or you can get a world-class education from us in 3 days and learn from people who've actually succeeded in the real world and have the scars to prove it. If you wish to learn more from us, we run 3 seminars every year: Enterprise, Empower and Enigma. These world-class seminars compress decades into days. At Enterprise, you learn how to master the art of business. At Empower, we teach you how to awaken the genius within. And at Enigma, we explore the great mysteries. All 3 seminars are 3 days long. They're run in Dublin, Ireland, and they're run once a year. And the material is exclusive to Keystone. Enterprise is run every November, Empower every August, and Enigma every May. And I'll leave you with this final quote. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Oscar Wilde. Thank you for your time. Check out keystone.ie for more information and have a great day. Thank you.